Hello there. I don't think I've actually done any videos, or at least not that many, lying down on the bed here. As you can see, blanket, sheets, pillow, all that is white, so yeah, it's not particularly the most stylish looking bed, but you know, it's pretty comfortable, so that's the important thing. Um, anyways, um, so yeah, nothing really else to say necessarily too much about. I don't know, school stuff. At least class wise, and all that. I haven't looked. I haven't really looked at any of that kind of stuff tonight. I've just been watching YouTube for the last couple hours. To be honest, I'm considering starting to really look into some YouTube alternatives since for watching stuff and for posting things. I don't know. I might still very well continue on here. I haven't had any issues yet, but mostly just due to the new age verification stuff going on. And I don't know when or if I might, have to do anything on that front. Because, if I wake up tomorrow morning and, and I see some kind of notification, from YouTube being like, oh, hey, go check out this video or whatever, and then I go to do that, watch something for a couple of minutes before I go out to my one class tomorrow, on Friday, and then I click on it to go watch it for a bit, and then boom, then it asks me for put in the ID. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving YouTube I'm not giving it, my passport or my birth documents or anything like that, whatever the fuck it may be asking for. And, and I know one thing with all this ID stuff going on around is, you have a whole sort of, all this information that we're basically giving to all these different companies, right? And just in case you're wondering what I'm drinking, it's this. It's okay. I got it a couple days ago. I think it was a, what, 6-pack? 6 or 8-pack or something like that, I think. Anyways. But yeah, I don't want to be giving out, those kind of documents. To be honest, I don't even know if anyone's actually going to see this video or not, because, again, all the censorship stuff going on and around, but, nonetheless, oh yeah, my roommate just got back. I guess today I kind of just want to talk about a few different kind of feelings with some stuff. I don't really want to talk about, I don't really feel like, I don't really want to think too much about the ID stuff or politics or, whatever, or classes, and all that, but there's a couple different other sort of things. So, one is that, I think I've kind of realized that, I've had a lot of just like very normal days, kind of like today, or tons of other days I've had before, whether some here, in Sydney, but, plenty before that, where I kind of realized, like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what this experience or the feeling is, but it's like, once like a certain amount of time has passed and like I've accomplished something, so like when I talked about like with, you know, all the stuff it took me to even get here, you know, and all that, and setting up and trying all these new things, and it felt really cool and really impressive, you know, for those times. But now again, I'm kind of just sort of experiencing the, kind of feeling of like, again, that I've had many times where I feel like I've not done anything or not doing anything. And I think again, what I'm kind of realizing is it's not really like that. That's not actually true. You know, I have done more than I maybe give myself credit for. Maybe I just not always appreciating that fully, but rather, I guess maybe just a bit perfectionistic, a bit, kind of just, you know, also I'm just sort of used to feeling like I need to be super productive, you know, and that can really kind of get in the way of sort of appreciating yourself, or you know, or enjoying downtime, you know, because like I've had like several nights now where like I'm just pretty tired and like I just play Minecraft or watch YouTube or, well, I'd say read, but admittedly I've not really done very much of that in the last 2 weeks or so, maybe a little longer than that. Actually considering reading for a little bit before I go to bed. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I'm just going to look at my phone. Probably be a good idea to read though. But nonetheless, so I don't know. You know, I guess, and it kind of goes a bit in tandem with this other sort of feeling kind of thing that, and I think I talked about this a little bit before, but just maybe watching my previous videos, kind of just sort of feelings I've had before about like, you know, I kind of think that I don't know if I really had like a specific idea of like what I would feel or what I would do here in Sydney and Australia, or, you know, or anything like that, but compared to back home. But I guess this is sort of feelings of like, you know, kind of just sort of struggles that I feel like I have, where I'm like, you know, I feel like I'm not doing anything. I feel like, you know, that like I don't really know how actually close the friends that I do have are to me, because again, everyone's just so busy all the time, you know, and all that, and you know, and it's just like I have to just initiate so much of the time, and I start most of the conversations, you know, and all that, and you know, and then I have times where I get a bit overwhelmed with some new things, and then I kind of just start procrastinating, and then not, and then some, you know, and then some of those days are there, I might not be even fully properly taking care of myself a little bit. I mean, I do okay. I think I do well most of the time, but you know, I might, you know, really just need to go use the bathroom or just eat something, but then I keep on putting that off, and then it just kind of builds up a little bit of tension, and then it really just doesn't make me feel that well. And I think that for myself, like, I want to say that I didn't think that I would not have these sort of feelings or whatever while I was here, but I guess I sort of had this sort of like, kind of, I don't know, sort of like, I don't know, fantastic sort of ideal of like, oh, I would meet like my best friend I meet, maybe my future, maybe my future partner, while I'm here. And again, I've still have so much of the experience left, so who knows, might very well come true. Or that like I would just feel like amazing, and I'd be like trying out new stuff all the time, like pretty much every day, and like it'd be just kind of really, really cool. And I'll say I think it was probably a bit unrealistic and all that, and I don't think that studying abroad somewhere or living in a different country is going to really change ways that I feel about myself or ways that I think about things. Now I think it can influence it. I think certainly being, me trying new things and trying to make new connections and all that, I think it certainly does. I think it's better to at least try those things and and just have some fun experiences and all that. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of the times probably some stuff that I kind of just get really, really focused on in my mind, like it just ends up not really being necessarily always that much of an issue, or not really an issue in the way that I kind of thought about it, and just making up a lot of stuff sometimes, and I don't know, and sometimes I just need to kind of get out of that sort of thing and that kind of mental rut or feeling or state or whatever, and and trying some new things can sometimes help with that. Not always, but sometimes it can. But I don't know. But I do, and I know I've kind of said this before, but like I do hope that like I am growing and I'm learning things, and that this whole this whole experience of me being here, or me even just being in uni or whatever, it's not all for based, right? It's not all in vain. It's not all just all these other people that are giving these scholarships are basically just wasting all this money, for me to not even end up finding a super great job or something out of it, but I mean, I don't know, but I think regardless, I think that even if I don't necessarily feel like fantastical or like great or always have the most interesting or exciting things to talk about every day, because I mean, again, that's just how life goes, and I guess kind of just maybe a bit upset at myself that I don't have that, because I don't want to kind of let people down or let my audiences down. I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be bored by that. I wouldn't want to give that kind of feeling off, but I still think that it's probably for the most part, probably a good thing that I am here and that I am doing what I am doing, and I think I probably did make a good choice about in terms of where to go. I've been safe here, right? And as much as I think that experiencing new things is it's a great way to expand your horizons and learn things and grow as a person, the most important thing is just making sure that you're okay, right? And taking care of yourself and staying safe, which I think I've overall managed to do pretty well. So that's good, and just, I mean, heck, I realized when I went to get groceries just a couple days ago, right, on like Wednesday, I think it was, like, that was like probably like the fourth or fifth time, something like that. I don't know, that I've done that. You know, in the last couple of weeks that I've been here, and you know, it's just like I've already gotten used to that. I've already gotten, you know, but I remember the very first time I did that wasn't all that long ago, but it feels like it was because I've just done so much stuff. Like thinking like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, and I look at stuff on the calendar from 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, holy fuck, that was that long. It feels like it was like forever ago, you know, even though it really wasn't. It's just crazy, but you know, but like remember when I did that, and I talked about it in those videos around that time, I think, like you know, I was honestly really crazy for me, and you know, here I am now on the other side of it, just being like, oh yeah, it's just a normal thing, you know, I just do this now, and I mean, I think that's, I mean, maybe while now I might have things like that, or job stuff, you know, again later on down the road when I have like a long-term job, not just one for, you know, a short season of life, or for, you know, a summer break or something like that for one school year. You know, I think I might I don't know, I don't know, I think I might appreciate kind of some of the stuff I've already done, maybe to get there, or things that I've done ahead of time, you know. I mean, I don't know how normal it is, but I mean, I've already had, I don't remember exactly how many it is, but I've probably had at least 5 or 6 different jobs so far. At this point, I'm only 19, you know, because, I mean, I worked as a dishwasher once. I worked as a, what, I worked as like a janitor, like, once or twice, you know. I helped a neighbor with some tiling and moving stuff. I, you know, and some yard work. You know, I've done landscaping, business stuff. You know, I've, you know, what else? At least a couple other things. I'm not remembering all of them right off the bat, but at least a handful of different jobs. Oh yeah, also janitor during the one school year back home. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, all the stuff I've done so far has again just been like manual labor, or you know, just like, you know, janitorial stuff or cleaning or whatever, but it's just really all that particularly exciting. And I don't know, I mean, I could do it longer term, and it might be relatively easier for me to get into one of those fields, because again, they don't really require degrees or anything like that, you know, not necessarily anyways, but or depending on the job maybe, but relatively speaking, I think, nor generally speaking, probably don't need to, you know, and I mean, I already have quite a few jobs in that experience, so it probably wouldn't be too terribly hard for me to get something there, but I just know, like, I don't know, probably wouldn't be, I don't know if I could do that long term. I'm not talking physically, I'm just talking mentally, because I don't know. Like, I just get, after a couple of weeks, after
maybe a few months. I don't know. It kind of varies a little bit, but after some amount of time, I kind of just get burned out by it. You know, I kind of just get a bit. It just doesn't really, you know, spark my soul, if you will. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But regardless, I think one great thing with it is, you know, that I managed to work hard in those areas, and I got along pretty well with my coworkers. Again, I probably got fairly fortunate because most of the people I worked with were pretty nice overall, or decent people. But still, right? You know, and I managed to overall pretty well to successfully communicate with them, which is, you know, a huge deal in jobs for very obvious reasons. So I can at least take pride in those kind of things, if you will. But so but yeah, you know. Anyways, and tomorrow I got a handful of different events. So of course I have my one class, and that's from, I would say, 10 to 11 or 11 to 12. And then I think it's 10 to 11. Yeah, and then before that I'll be trying to grab the free coffee that they have at a place here on campus. Try to go get one of those. After class, I'm probably gonna run by JB Hi-Fi, so that way I can maybe get a new mouse charger cord, or heck, I might just even get a new mouse entirely. I don't know. We'll see. And then later on in the day, there's a fun little house party or something like that. So that'll be fun. You go see where that's at. And I don't know. I'm not normally the most party type of person, but you know, something a little different than, well, not really that different. I've been to parties before. Not that many, but I've been to some. But anyways, so I'm getting a bit tired. But, I don't know. I probably gotta check a couple things, some bank account stuff. I had some difficulties with that the last couple of days, so I need to keep an eye on that stuff. But anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, if you liked it, yeah, feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell down below so you can see more stuff like this. You can see more of my, you know, thoughts, feelings, experiences, etc. Well, I'm here in Sydney, Australia for this one semester until the end of November. So I'm trying to record a good amount while I'm here, because I may very well never get to again. So